Hey, how you doing, everyone? This is Reverend Wayne Stills. How's it going? Good to be here. Good to be here. There's miracles everywhere. Today is Two Turtle Tuesday. If you're wondering what that means, it just means that Ozzy and I will be doing a reading today of a book, and Ozzy and I are the two turtles. We like to take things nice and slowly, relax, very casually, and we're rushed, and we find that we work together very well that way, and we end up getting more done. Yeah, slow and steady, baby steps, baby steps, baby steps. And today we'll be reading from Anxiety to Love by Corman Gupta. It's a wonderful book. I've read through it. I've only skimmed through it though, and now I'm going to read through it nice and slowly with Ozzy. So until then, first I want to play a couple of songs, probably one song actually, do one song, and then we'll get through today's lesson, and then we'll bring in the we're bringing Ozzy. We're bringing the Wizard of Ozzy. So, briefly, here's the song for you. It's a good one. It's sort of a, I guess you could say, my anthem. I played it before here, and so um, all right. So, here we go.
Sometimes I can't help but feeling that I'm living a life of illusion. And oh, why can't we let it be and see through the hole in this wall of confusion? I just can't help the feeling I'm living a life of illusion. Right between the eyes. Oh, how nature loves her little surprises. Wow, it all seems so logical now. It's just one of her better disguises. And they come with no warning. Nature loves little surprises. Continual crisis. Hey, don't you know it's a waste of your day? Caught up in endless solutions that have no meaning, just another hunch based upon jumping conclusions. Caught up in endless solutions, backed up against a wall of confusion. Living a life of illusion.
Living the life of an illusion. Living the life of an illusion. My favorite line in that song is "Nature has a pow." nature has her little surprises. Nature has her little surprises. Nature has her little surprises. And this world that we live
You're muted.
I thought I unmuted myself. I'm sorry. I must have just pressed it twice by mistake really quickly. I'm back to unmute. I'm at the mute. Nature has her little surprises. Nature has her little surprises was one of my favorite lines from that song. Nature has her little surprises in this world, in this three-dimensional uh, uh, level one oriented space. We tend to have be surprised by everything. Everything seems to surprise us, and which is not necessarily to it's not the end of the world. It keeps things kind of spicy, I guess you could say, but it's it'd be nice sometimes to overcome things a little bit easier, right? But you have to be optimistic, and you experience the God, the more you love yourself and God, the easier the same challenges, which would normally be much more difficult, become. Then as this year, have no challenges at all, none. The whole world is unraveled before you, and then you just breeze through the days. And it's not as if you don't have the same challenges, and it's not even as if you're doing the same things. You might be doing the same things. The actions that you're engaging in might be the same. You may find yourself doing the same things before and after enlightenment. For water, the water thing, water and chopping wood, and before enlightenment and after enlightenment, it's sort of like that. It's just that when you're doing it, you're doing it from a different place, from a different vibe, And so POW, nature has a little surprises, could be a bummer if you're not looking at it the right way, if you're not navigating through it via the Holy Spirit or the eternal teacher, or the Anxiety to Love puts it, your inner therapist. It'd be a good time to bring in Audrey in our book. She calls it the inner therapist, because I thought it was fantastic, especially these days. We need a therapist, in my opinion. We use a good therapist. Audrey, when you're ready, want to come on in? Yeah, there she is. This is a book from Anxiety to Love. From a radical new approach to letting go of fear and finding lasting peace. How you doing out there? Everything all right? Good day?
Yeah, I'm doing great. How are you, Rev Wayne?
I'm doing very well. I'm doing well. I'm hanging in there. I'm very excited that my computer's working. It's a new computer, so everything I have to get set up and transferred over from here to there. And I got all my stuff over, so I'm pretty happy. And
I love
then
that.
16,000 things it said.
Jesus, that's a lot of stuff.
It took so much. It's all the stuff I have for the last since 2017, 2016. And so there's a lot of stuff, something like that. So it's a lot of time to load, and I had to crash my former sound recording. It crashed it, so so I had a new one. I had a new updated one, which did not have anything on it from I had to do the transfer myself, so it was a pain. But what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? It sounds great, and it's gonna work great now. So
Worked out.
tickety boo, we're tickety boo.
Right. All right. So you want to start? You want to start with the book?
Yeah. Let's start with the foreword by Dr. Bob Rosenthal.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna start reading here. With an estimated 40 million adults currently suffering from anxiety in the United States, it would be fair to say that anxiety is the affliction of our times. This is especially so if we recognize stress as a form of anxiety. More than any other generation of humans, We are saddled today with tasks, responsibilities, and a flood of information well beyond the brain's capacity to manage. If you doubt this, just take a look at your to-do list. Then tell me how you feel. Anxiety is pervasive. The high school senior fretting over college applications, the college senior petrified about finding a job, the young married couple conflicted over whether it's the right time to have a baby, parents worried about their teens drinking and driving, older workers anticipating layoffs, health issues, and a frugal retirement, and of course, seniors, their weeks spent captive to doctor's appointments, hoping to stave off death, terrified that it will sweep down upon them suddenly, yet equally frightened that it will be slow and painful. And these are just the normal forms anxiety takes, the ones we can all relate to. As a psychiatrist, I have treated other, more pathological and far more crippling forms of anxiety, including paralyzing fear over making a simple phone call, heart-racing panic attacks, irrational fears of terrorist bombings, and the delusional conviction that something is wrong with the body that the doctors have repeatedly missed. My phone's ringing. I don't know if you can hear it.
No, you can't hear it. I can hear it. I don't know if anyone else can hear it.
Okay, good. No matter the form, these symptoms all testify to a sense that life is out of control, fraught with perils seen and unseen about which little can be done.
You know, it's interesting. Every time I hear this, I hear it's all this stuff, the terror and all the different emotions that she's coming up with, and then I realize that the course sees all these as death, as variations of death, as of death, basically anxiety, terror, all the different what else does she say here? Loss of control, the fear of anxiety, all these different things that she mentions. When you say one of them, just think it's death. You know, death is hoping to say so. Death, terrified, it will shoot down on you. Equally frightened, painful. All these are variations of death, and that's why it's so scary. Death is eating you up, as far as you're concerned. Everything on some level, you're always afraid you're going to die. Otherwise, it won't scare you if you knew you were the conqueror. If you knew for sure you'd conquer your problems, I assume you'd be okay with it. But every time something happens to you, your body's afraid. Oh my God, I'm going to die. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. And so because everything is death. Everything is death unless you realize your invulnerability, and then everything, and death in itself and all of its friends become a joke.
Yeah, the friends. I love that. It reminds me of your program when you said, death invites pain in, his buddy Pain in. Pain has a cup of tea.
That's right. The kitchen maid cooking something up in the kitchen. Yeah, it's sort of like that. Death has all these friends, anxiety and misery and pain and suffering, and they're all hanging out together. And so death is sort of the background. Death is the mastermind behind the whole thing, and he's the one calling the shots, and he's the Charles Manson behind the whole thing. And he sends out all his evil little minions, anxiety and terror and fear and all this crap that we don't want to deal with. He sends out and it fools us. We don't know. So he sends out, what are they, the four horsemen? I'm sure you hear that.
Yeah.
So he sends out those four horsemen, and we all have to deal with it.
Boy. All right.
On.
What's the solution for such pervasive anxiety? Do you want to start reading, Rev Wayne?
Sure, if you want me to. What's the solution to such pervasive anxiety? Do we simply accept it? Slog through it the best we can? Do we give up, drop out, live off the grid? What are our options? The most common coping strategy for anxiety involves drugs and alcohol. Have a drink, then have another. Get high, pop a pill, illegal or prescription, and you'll feel better for a while anyway. But when the buzz wears off, Your situation has not changed. In fact, it'll likely feel even worse. You might try to escape anxiety by immersing yourself in other kinds of addictive behaviors, seeking out the highs that come with gaming, gambling, surgery, food, sex, or extreme sports, for example. These all have one thing in common. They look for relief from the source outside oneself. As a result, they create dependency, a need, a craving, which in turn give rise to its own brand of anxiety. What if you can? What if you run out of pills? What if your partner catches you on? And what happens when inevitably your addiction of preference no longer satisfies the way it once did? What do you do then? Instead of searching for a replacement, you could seek out the services of a professional psychotherapist. You might learn through cognitive behavioral therapy or mindfulness training to identify those thoughts that habitually stir up anxiety and either replace them with better thoughts or let them go altogether. The problem is identified as internal, the product of our own thoughts. We're no longer pervasive victims reacting to circumstances beyond our control. We no longer need to look outside ourselves for a solution. Those pesky thoughts are our responsibility. Once we realize this, we reclaim the power to change them. Clearly, this is a better approach than drugs or other addictive behaviors, but it is not comprehensive. It does not shield us from life's blows, nor does it help us prepare for the inevitability of death. That's death is as I was saying before. Once you get to that place where you can conquer anything, everything is easier, and then it gets even more difficult again. It's kind of like math. The better you get at math, the harder it gets. It gets easier until it gets harder. You move up, and it's harder. It's harder and harder, and then it's easier. And it gets easier, and then it's harder, and then eventually, until you conquer the entire subject, and then finally it's all easy for you. Then you're a genius. So for a while, it'd be very difficult until eventually the comprehensive plan, and that's we need a therapist. The metaphysical thought system is taught by the book, A Course in Miracles, offers one of the few solutions to anxiety that is truly comprehensive. It applies to all forms of anxiety, no matter the circumstances. And it achieves this by guiding us not only to monitor and redirect our thoughts, but to rework the bottom up our entire sense of who we are and the world that we live in. ACIM tells us that there's two basic emotions, or more accurately, two states of mind, fear and love, and that's it. And they're obviously mutually exclusive. If you're experiencing one, the other is gone. Fear eclipses love, but love banishes fear entirely. But now you find that the love has a lot of friends too, huh? What do you think? Love has a lot of friends also. Fear, but
Oh,
love.
yeah, look at that. Fear eclipses love, but love
Right.
banishes fear entirely.
So,
Wow.
I like that. It's true.
Love, aka the banisher.
Right. Yeah, fear eclipses fear is a cloud blocking the sun. It's the covering over the light, but it doesn't get rid of the light. It can't. And when darkness gets rid of the light, it gets rid of the light. The light's always in charge, and light banishes fear. Light banishes darkness entirely, because it was never there to begin with. So it's vanishing in fantasy. You know,
Yeah.
dream, you banish that dream completely. It's gone. We fall asleep again. We continually fall asleep at night. We have different dreams, but the one that we woke up from the night before is gone.
Mm.
It's just, and then we have another dream. So, we have a wrong math, a wrong problem in math.
Mm.
It was just gone. Who cares? It's just not there. And then we have the right problem. Everything we got wrong was gone. So the dream at night is always the best way to look at it, though. Wake up in the morning, everything it's gone for good. That's how memories are, as the life is. Everything is always gone because everything is in the past. Nothing is here except there. You want to read?
Yeah, sure. And here we're gonna find out Find out love's friends. Peace is
Yeah.
the companion of love, while anxiety arises from fear. Therefore, anxiety, the absence of peace, signals that we are disconnected from love. But ACIM teaches that love is our only reality, who and what we are in truth, and that peace is the natural state of our mind. Therefore, when we're not feeling love and peace, we're not in our right mind. Quite literally, we are insane. Welcome to the world.
Wow, nature has a little surprise. We're living in a life of illusion. We're living in a life of illusion.
Oh, that's great. Okay, so according to ACIM, then the anxiety we all feel is inevitable. It will plague us so long as we believe ourselves to be something we're not. Separate individuals, each different, housed in vulnerable physical bodies, moving through an uncaring world over which we have little control and subject to the whims and depredations of time. If your true self is not a body but spirit, then what harm can come to you? And if your true abode is not the world of linear time, where past and future overhang that slim, ungraspable instant that is now, then what is there to be anxious about? Anxiety is nothing more than fear projected into the future. Fear about what might occur at some future time. Love is lived only in the present tense.
I find it very interesting that she said, how we hear it says, and the anxiety is nothing more than fear, or like, if you yourself by the spirit, and if your true abode is not in this world, any time, and past, present, future is very slim. Yeah, you have to live in that slim moment, the slim now. That it really is true. This really is so. The now is such a narrow little edge. If you think about it, the past is a nanosecond ago. That's the past. It's over. To a nanosecond, I don't know if that's your point. Right up to a nanosecond ago, that's the past, and right up to a nanosecond later is the future. So we're in that little squeeze of space, and we either we let go of the past and the future completely, knowing that they're not there, or we're gonna be squeezed by those two things completely. And because we're gonna think they're real, and we're gonna be bombarded by the past, and then the future is gonna be forced by the past, and we're gonna be sitting there totally unfree in between the two. That make sense?
Yes, and yeah, absolutely, Rev Wayne. Like it is like you put it that way, and it is this teensy slice, or at least that's what the mind thinks it is.
Right. Exactly. It doesn't have to be teensy because once you let go of the past and the future, there's nothing there to be. Once you realize you're not actually in between anything, it's up. You know,
Yeah.
when you think you're in between these two past future things, you become a sandwich. You become a sandwich. No room to maneuver. It's like, wait, whoa, and you make no choices. Everything comes from the past, which produces the future. And you sit there just watching it happen, squeezed.
Squeeze, yeah. And
Mhm.
that's so beautiful because as soon as we do, when I let go of the past, and I have been doing this, it's opened up this space for other things to come in that I never knew existed.
Definitely. Cool. Excellent.
Yeah.
That.
Cool. All right. I'll keep reading, okay?
All right.
All right. In From Anxiety to Love, psychotherapist Karine Zupko takes the key principles of A Course in Miracles and adapts them in a user-friendly way to counter and ultimately eradicate anxiety. Karine writes both as a professional and as someone who has herself confronted severe anxiety. She shares examples of her own struggles in a manner that's moving, insightful, and humorous in order to demonstrate how she learned to apply A Course in Miracles in her life and become more peaceful. Do you want to finish it off, Rev Wayne?
You're doing great.
All right. However, this book is not only for motivated anxiety sufferers. Veteran students of A Course in Miracles should also find it helpful. The lessons and quotations may offer little that's new. It is Corinne's dedication to put those lessons into practice, as well as her emphasis on cultivating a willingness to change rather than forcing change prematurely. That makes this book a worthwhile adjunct to ACIM study. Although it is full of helpful meditations, affirmations, and practices, please do not mistake From Anxiety to Love for just another self-help book or Power of Positive Thinking instruction manual, because it rests on the principles of ACIM. It leads the reader into a radical system of not just thought change, but mind change. If we are insane and the world is our asylum, then consider this book a key to escape and a path to sanity. If we are trapped in turbulent dreams, this is the soft whisper and gentle caress that call us to awaken. You may not believe all this book promises, but as ACIM itself states, you don't have to believe any of it. You just need to try it out. Give it a chance. Take it for a test drive. Practice the exercises. Let the results themselves convince you. What do you have to lose but your fear? And that's by Dr. Bob Rosenthal. And he passed away, so he's no longer with us, but he's got some great books out there and teachings too. And I'm so happy that he wrote this foreword for Corinne's book. I mean, Corinne is just a great example of somebody who does live the A Course in Miracles principles, in my opinion. I have been in her classes before. She used to read through the text, and it was all through a phone system. And she's just a beautiful teacher, in my opinion. She is clear, and she really helped me see, she helped give me clarity when I was doing those groups with her. So very happy, Rev Wayne. Anything else to say about Dr. Bob's foreword?
Yeah, I thought it was a great forward. It was very one of those, not one of those annoying forwards that last for 25 minutes. You know, it was to the point. It promoted the book well, and it was a good appetizer. Let's put it that way. You know, that they made me want to read it and made me want to look into it. Although it was helpful meditations, affirmations, and practices, please do not make it's not another help book. I like that. It was also kind of cool because the difference between changing your mind and changing your thoughts, and that the difference heating it into, but it's worth looking at just briefly. That your thoughts, you're changing your mind, is changing your whole paradigm. That's what the course is trying to get you to do, is to change your mind completely about who you are, about time, about everything. And if you can do that, that's you changing your mind about who God is and how the universe is and who Jesus is, who the Holy Spirit is. That's the mind changer. And then your thoughts will just flow from that. You don't have to worry about we think about 60,000 thoughts a day.
Wow.
How are you going to control that? I mean, what kind of master think? I mean, you control the flow of the thoughts if you change the premise of your thinking. Then maybe you change the foundation from which they're coming from. So if I'm walking around thinking the world's a joke and we're all going to die and everything stinks, then the flow of thoughts, it might be a little bit more positive one day and a little bit more negative the next day, but essentially they're going to be a certain flow coming from them. Because I say the world is just a place that represents doom, sort of like the horror movie feel. Everything's horrible, everything's doomed. We're all desperately just living in a desperate world, and one day we're all going to die, and that's just the way it is. And then everything will be in that context. And then if we have a paradigm shift, when we realize that we're all innocent, beautiful spirits, and we're all going to live forever, ever, ever, and ever, and ever, and ever, and we know that there's a spiritual side to all of us, and blah, 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 and we all move in that direction, and we really feel we experience that truth is real, and we know that truth is real. That's a mind change. It's not positive thinking, that's truth. It's truth thinking. And I think that he made it very clear just by making it the difference, because it rests on the principle its leader, radicalism, not just thought change, but the mind change, We are essentially minds in the end of it. We are the infinite, we are one with the infinite mind. The course likes the word mind.
Yeah.
You know,
I
something
love
like,
I love the mind change. I like to tell I say I'm doing my mind training all the time in my mind. I'm training my mind. And you know, because the gap thinking the sandwich theory there and that we're in this tiny slice of meat only, I I'm gonna take we're gonna get the whole sandwich because it's just an illusion, the gap.
right.
So I love
Right.
this. This is
But it's
beautiful.
just,
We
it's another
continue
looking
with
at,
the mind training.
yeah, it's another looking at it with the gap thing, is that you have the past, and all those, as you just kind of said, it's all existing in now. The past is just a memory of the pictures that exist in your present time. And so there's everything exists in the now anyhow. So you really you're looking in the past and the present. We put that stuff we threw it to our left side, we threw it to our right side, or we threw it behind us and in front of us, and we called it the past and the future. But it's not really. This is just a viewpoint. It's not, so we have nothing and then we know that down deep. We're playing a game against ourselves, and we don't want to make a game we're going to lose. So eventually we'll bust out of this place. So I'm not really concerned about it. So. We'll have more books like these, and you should write another book, and I'll write a book, and you write a book, and we'll all write books, and we'll bust out of this.
And I love the thinking of, having that sense of the bad dream, that nightmare. Like when we were talking about horror movies, Friday the 13th and Halloween, and
Yeah,
I
right.
I had this image of like going around in the world, and if I got scared, I'll be like, okay, should I play some scary music in my mind? Will that make it scarier? Like there's nothing scary going on. It's okay, Audrey. You're okay. So that's
Yes,
good.
your mind works like that. You see a scary movie, so you know you can't walk around your house.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always find laughing works. If I I have a laugh track on in my head. Even scary, if it's scary, I'm in a dark comedy. Not much
Mhm.
better, but it's better than just plain darkness. Because then I can move out of the dark comedy into a comedy. Usually that turns into a farce, and this world's a farce. As far as I'm concerned, a farce means that the whole world's just not playing by rules that really make any sense, but we think that it makes perfect sense. The laws of physics are the laws of ego, but we think that they're really real. But then from the farce, eventually move to the happy dream. So right now I'm in the farce stage. It would make absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. The laws of physics make no sense to me whatsoever, but I can't get out of it. I'm still living according to the physics of the laws.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well,
I'm
those
still
are tough laws to. Well, the thing is though, like gravity's a tough one, and the whole idea of not even being a human being and that we're spirit. I mean, I I can get the concept of that, but do I really believe that in this mind?
no.
No.
We won't be here. I mean, one of the things to do though is to make everything a little more beautiful and sort of like for instance, I read something by I don't know if he was a priest or a minister or anything, but he wrote a book and he said he thinks that gravity is the Earth's way of loving us. He says there's no reason for it to do it. That he says we all the time use scientific terms for human interaction. Very magnetic. He has a very magnetic personality. Now, magnetism has to do with metals.
Mm.
Why not use human terms for that things. Equally concerned with equal rationalism and equal make perfect sense. So the Earth loves us, and that's why it pulls us towards itself. Whenever I think of gravity now, I think of love, attraction. It's the same thing with humans. Humans, the love for each other means it's through attraction, and the Earth attracts us to itself.
That's
The Earth is
beautiful.
the Earth essentially is attracted to us and wants us to be with her.
Yeah.
Instead of seeing it as a problem, you get up in the morning, like to bed. You're your bed's like, no, be with me, be with me. It's all like how you react to things, and then, so now it's not so bad when I think of gravity. If I can think of the laws of physics that way, then eventually you bust through them and you realize how silly they are. You
Yeah.
transcend them.
That
Yeah, the love of fear.
well, and lesson 30 today is God is in everything I see because God is in my mind.
So yeah, exactly.
So we have it right there. So just
God-
to so real vision is not limited to concepts such as near and far.
No.
Real vision, I'm just reading from the lesson today. Real vision is not only unlimited by space and distance, but it does not depend on the body's eyes at all. The mind is its only source. To aid in helping you to become more accustomed to this idea as well, devote several practice periods to applying today's idea with your eyes closed, using whatever subjects come to mind and looking within rather than without. Today's idea applies equally to both. God is in everything I see because God is in my mind.
Yes, it's very comforting. And the coming of two reasons. It's just nice that God's in everything I see, and it's perfect sense God's in our mind. And where else would God be?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Where would he be?
where else would he be? He's not be outside of our minds. You know, you'd say that intellectually, but if you think about it, where else would he possibly be? He's not going to be outside of our awareness. It's the awareness that makes more sense. Mind is sort of more is subjective. It's a something, and but awareness is an active noun. It's somebody that has an awareness. The awareness is more is almost it has to be a verb. Is more verb sounding. Aware.
Oh,
Everyone knows, you know what I'm saying. So if I said to you, does anything exist outside your awareness? What would you say automatically? Of course not, right?
yeah.
I mean, would you ever think you could experience anything outside of your awareness?
No.
Of course not. So that's what if someone says things exist outside my mind, they're saying things exist outside my awareness. How would you
Yeah.
know? You know, I mean, you say it intellectually, but you can't say that. That's why I say when you're in a dream, nothing exists outside your spirit, your dream senses. At nighttime, nothing exists outside the actual scenario that you're in. There's nothing outside of that scenario at all because you're dreaming. You don't dream of the whole world outside that scenario that you're in. You only dream the scenario that you're actually in.
Mm.
You know, at nighttime, if I have a dream that I'm in my house at home at night with my family, and I look around the room, that's the only real world that exists in that world, right?
Yeah.
There's not also a downtown that I happen to not be thinking about. I think it's only that's where it is. It's only it appears. That's what's happening here in this world. We don't realize it. If you're not there, doesn't exist.
Mm.
And if I'm not there, it doesn't exist. Anywhere that we don't exist, that doesn't actually exist. Anywhere that you don't put your awareness on, that doesn't exist for you.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
That's a tough one. We assume everything is stable, but nothing is stable in this realm, in this world. We assume everything is located and stable, and that's where they are. But
That's
no,
that's why things keep moving around on me.
yeah,
Uh,
exactly. Unless you're
yeah.
aware of it. The Lynn was saying, the Lynn says, unless I'm aware of it, it's not there. And that's the tough one because what people who are aware of it that are not here. Well, if you want to put your awareness on certain people that you think are aware of something else, that's fine. But you're only aware of the people that you think are aware of other people. You're
Wow.
indirectly aware of other people. But your awareness is not on it, your awareness is on. And if your awareness is not on something, your awareness does not exist for you. Literally, we make things up. We invent things through our awareness. That's how God comes to us. That's how God creates the world through our awareness. That's how
Yeah.
we it's like we created. That's how we created actually. We are little, almost like we're little awareness outlets, little outlets for of awareness, and that's how we channel God's love. That's how we channel Jesus, channel the Holy
Mm.
Spirit. Just by placing our awareness on stuff in a nice way, being aware, putting our chin on things, we're putting God's love on. We will respond to that situation if we observe it correctly, see it correctly. That's what we automatically express the love that we abandon when we moves into when we abandon the fear.
Yeah, and if we see and seeing correctly, just to take off the correct and incorrect, it's seen with that right mind.
Right.
Yeah. Beautiful. Should we go on to the prologue?
You're here now. Okay, good. All
Okay.
right.
Oh, wait, let's read Lynn says in the room, yes, not at all, unless I am aware of it, aware of my own thoughts about other things, not even really aware of them at all. I think you read that already, Revwin.
I didn't read
Sorry.
the whole, I didn't read the
Sorry.
whole thing. That's why it's better. I didn't read the whole thing. I only read the first part. I'm not very familiar with how it works in thing yet. As far as that, I sent a message. I think I can send a message out, but I always forget which one to press. So, I only read the first sentence of her thing. But yeah, it's true. As you're aware of it, it's not there.
Yeah,
It's very convenient. Perhaps people think it's rather convenient for us or whoever involved. But no, I mean, it's not convenient. It's just the way it is. That's how I look
great.
at it. This is the way
Yeah,
they are. Convenient or not convenient. And usually it's not very convenient when you're talking to the person who's saying that to you. You know, it's very convenient then. It's at 3 a.m. It's pitch black in my college dormitory room when I was wakened by a punch in the gut from a flood of stress hormones. My heart starts racing. I break out in a sweat, and my stomach feels like it's flipped over and is dropping to my knees. I jolt upright, so I can't breathe. I'm certain about it. I'm going to die. Fear, terror floods my veins. Death is approaching. Next, nearly blinded by the dark, I climbed down the ladder of my bunk bed, hoping not to wake my roommate. I grabbed the phone, stretching the wire out the door so I can escape the bathroom of my suite. My body is shaking uncontrollably. It's hard to control my arms and legs. I sit on the cold tile floor, finding that my tears make it even harder to breathe. Unsteadily, I dial my home number. My mom picks up my phone, thank God. Mom? Corinne? What's the matter? Mom? I don't know what that happened to me. I'm shaking. I can't breathe. Where are you? Are you sitting down? Yes, I'm on my bathroom floor. All right now. Just breathe a little. There's silence while my mom waits. When I speak again, my voice is tight, high pitched, and strained. Mom, my body shaking. I can hardly walk. Auntie? Auntie?
Can you turn the page?
Karina, are you sick? Do you have a temperature? Feels like a heart attack. My heart is racing. I'm terrified. You're gonna be fine, Corinne. Your heart is healthy. Something happened? My mom's response calms me a little so I can think. A student died yesterday. I'm so scared I'm gonna die next. I've never felt so terrified before. Okay, everything's gonna be all right. You might be having an anxiety attack. Talk to me. I woke you up. The tears started flowing again. I can't breathe. It's okay, Corinne. Take a deep breath. Take your time. Tell me what happened. I breathe it out and once. I breathe it out. I breathe in and out once. A student died yesterday morning of meningitis. He was at a party the night before he died. He's dead now. I'm terrified that it's going to be happening to me. You should keep breathing. Tell me more. I feel like I'm going to die. It feels like I'm seeing and hearing through a tunnel. I can't stop shaking. I'm afraid my sweet mates are going to wake up and find me here. Okay, take some deep breaths with me. Remember the relaxation technique. Breathe with me. Let's take a breath in and out. We breathe together. I'm getting more air. We breathe the many more air, but my body and legs continue to tremble violently onto the cold bathroom tile on the cold bathroom tiles. Mom, I am afraid I'm going to come out of. I'm not going to come out of this. The terror, the shaking, they're not stopping. It's just subside, Corinne. Do you want to come home? Actually, right now. Home sounds so safe. The semester is nearly over. I can tell you that. I have a final exam in the morning. Determination wells up in me. I will not let anxiety get the better of my education. They then will stay on the phone as long as we need to. Thank you, Mom. Her support helps, but the flood of terror does not subside. She needs that comprehensive plan. What she needs, because she needs that comprehensive plan to get rid of death completely. Keep talking to me, Corinne. Tell me what you're afraid of. Yeah? I'm afraid of death. I'm afraid of dying. I'm afraid you're going to die. I'm sick. I'm suffering. Death seems like the only guarantee in the world. I'm so full of terror. People said God is love, but how can the loving God creates things like the die? I can't tell if I'm making any sense. Corinne, it's good that you're talking about this. Looking at your fears means that you won't have much power. They don't have much power over you. We'll keep talking about this and how would you feel if you were getting connected with a counselor too? How would you feel about getting connected with a counselor? I'm totally open to that. I'll try anything that can help me. We were meant to talk. We were meant to talk that night. Talk tonight, honey. We were meant to talk tonight, honey. I know this because somehow I heard the phone ring. You know how it's like a fortress. I trickled through my tears, visualizing how my mom sleeps with thumb earplugs and white noisemaker. Anything is like a noise. Something guide here on the phone. We need to trust that. Trust that we're going to find a way to get through this. I'll stop there. Isn't that kind of nice how they have a viewpoint that made no sense? That something in this world that something guided me to not not they're not made myself not hear the phone. I can they have their own little mother and daughter thing going on there, which was kind of nice. Something guided me to wake up and hear the phone. We need to trust that. Trust that we're going to find a way to get through this. And that's a point. That's a perception that can
Mm,
very, that they took on small little paradigm shift. That the mother introduced to her, and they could live by. I thought it was kind of nice.
well, that's beautiful too, because Kareen, something inside of her, the wrong mind, could have talked her out of calling her mom and saying, my mom's not going to answer. Mom's, she sleeps in the fortress. She's got her earplugs in. She's got this and talked her out of doing the call, but she called and
Yeah,
mom
yeah,
heard the call.
yeah,
It's just a beautiful unfolding of how it's supposed to be.
exactly, exactly. And that was nice.
And the
Uh,
whole God create things that die. I know, like, geez, that's such a important question. I mean, that
I totally agree. I mean, I've said that for years. I've been saying that, and I've said it before. Even the course, I didn't understand how. What's the point? What's the point of creating people to die? I mean, especially to send them to hell. That made no sense whatsoever. It made no sense to create people just to torture them forever. But forgetting even that, what creating people just relative to the universe is respect. What's the point? That gives us such insight and just to flick us away. And as the course says, it just seems so cruel.
yeah, yeah.
The fate forced to say goodbye to our friends and family, and now we're alone on the earth, and then we have to say goodbye to everyone and fall in love, and then say goodbye to your lovers, and all that. It just seems so not nice.
Yeah, not nice at all. It's always a goodbye.
Always. Every time I go to a funeral, I mean, funeral comes to me, and what I do. And, this God of yours is really good. You love this God of yours every time.
Yep,
I always
every time.
the God of mine is not the God that you're talking about. That's all I can say. I said, this guy, I said, the God of mine has nothing to do with this.
Nothing to do with this. That's right.
So they look at me kind of confused, and I just, said, for another time, and that's it. You want to read?
Yeah, okay. So Corrine says she's gonna trust. Okay, I will. My declaration of trust brings about a glimmer of love in my heart. My hope is increasing and my body is calming. Corrine, I know you haven't wanted to talk about this before, but that book I study, oh, her mom studied, okay. But that book I study, A Course in Miracles, has exercises in it that might be really helpful for you. It's all about learning how to undo fear. Guilt flashes through my mind as I remember the times in the past that my mom tried to talk to me about the course. With teenage defiance, I would put my hands over my ears and exclaim, "Speak to me in English like you used to. I'm not interested in this spiritual stuff." But now I'm desperate. "I'll try anything, Mom. That sounds good. We're going to get you through this. You're going to be okay. We're going to find help for you." Our conversation continues for a while until I am calm enough to climb back into my bunk bed, taking my headphones and CD player. I fall asleep listening to soothing music. That turns out to be the only way I'll be able to fall asleep for the next 6 months. My mom and I agreed that this episode meant I was beginning to face the anxiety that has been building within me since I was a baby. I knew there had to be a way through it, and I was determined to find it. Nothing was going to stop me in my search for peace, even though there were many times when I doubted I'd ever find it.
All right, well, it's good timing. Holy, good reading, Ozzy. You're wonderful, and it was a great conversation. Actually, great conversation, great talk, and so far it's excellent. This is an excellent book. I wonder one day we can get the Korean in here. But so far this is great. Introductions next.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that was only the forward and the prologue. So we have a lot more to go, and with a lot of exercises. So it's gonna be just be fantastic. Looking forward to it. So thanks, Ozzy.
Thank you, Rev Wayne. I love being a turtle, a
Yeah, two
little
turtles,
turtle.
two little turtles. And we're going to be back Thursday with breakfast, and we have some from back in 2013 going on. It's going to be called what's the name of it again? Do you remember the name of it? Did we name it?
Yeah,
Do I have any
the words
Oh
that
yeah,
we use. Yeah.
I go over about 4 or 5 different words that we tend to use to describe the world, and the slight different meanings they all have. Um, explore this word improvisation. I mean, it's kind of fun, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. And until then, that's the 12:30 on Thursday. And all right, thanks a lot. Thanks, Dove, Lynn, and everyone else here. I love all, and I'll see you Thursday. Bye.
Thanks you guys so much. I love you both. And I'm so grateful you're reading this book. I love Corinne. She is just a real doll. And yeah, I'd love to have her. I could bring her in here on a Tuesday evening for an interview. We'd love to have her come in. She has been here at Gather before, so she knows us, and I'm sure she'd be happy to join with us. So
Excellent.
thanks you guys so very much.
Thank you, Lynn.